And hello and welcome back, everybody. It's time for our final game of this evening. That is right. The best words you want to hear in a best of three is Game 3, and that's what we've got right here. Avant-Garde Redemption, one game up as they won the first game. FIGJAM all the way back there for Game 2. Very tight, very tense, but they did manage to take it out there with some very consistent, very strong play, and really working that comp that they've shown they know how to play there. That Rumble Lux, mixed in with all the other goodness, really came up trumps them here, and you have to think that maybe we are going to see a couple bans all around. And this is it. One game to determine which of these two teams gets the chance at going to PAX. It's top 8 once this game goes through. Top 16, of course, as we are here in night 2 or day 2 of the top 16 online qualifier. But it's going to be amazing to see what these two teams can do. And much like Highlander, they can only beat one. Only one of those teams gets to go through. And if you win this one, you're one match away, one best of 3 for being one of the 4 lucky teams that gets to go to PAX. It's kind of like winning a golden ticket, but you're going to do a lot of hard work to get there. So we'll see which team can put in the last few here, in where it matters, in here in the last game. And oh my goodness, I'm excited. My name, of course, is FIGJAM, and I'm joined by special guest Menace.
Special guest Menace in the house. How you going, mate? Be good to see Game 3. I'm super excited, as you can tell. Hopefully we get into this game going pretty soon, but what are we going to see next game? That's my question. Is AV Redemption going to go back to what they did in Game 1, run the vein, go for the team comp that they had last game with a really good, strong late game? But I reckon we'll see some different bans as well. Maybe a Rumble ban out or a Lux ban. We'll have to see. Renekton maybe. I don't think so. He did. He's done well in the last 2 games for the guys on Avant-Garde. So who knows? Who knows what could happen next? So it won't be long before we do get this game underway. What do you think we're going to see next one, Pastry?
Well, it's okay. I think one of the apologies. Looks like our observer accidentally dropped out of the game, so I have to make sure we get him back in there. Awkwardly enough, the lobby started, everything was all good, and then unfortunately, apparently, there was a bit of a bug there, and the teams skipped. So Avant actually had their first ban completely skipped out, which is obviously not good news. So hopefully that problem isn't here as we restart the lobby back. Just get everybody back in that we need as the observer joins back in there, and we're ready to go. All right, so hopefully they get the first ban this time around, but it looks like it's going to be A-okay. As you said, I think the Renekton thing more just comp-based. I mean, the way FIGJAM have built their team, they weren't really afraid of Renekton. Like, yeah, if he got really fed, then he just can get in there and it's all sorts of problems. But they had a really good team to kite somebody like Renekton, and they did very well to keep him down. So I think very intelligently didn't use the Renekton ban in the last game, and going to be curious to see what Avant used for their ban too. They actually go for Zyra as their first ban. So clearly liking the power of that champion. Oh, there's the Lux ban. No more of that for Avant-Garde Redemption. They had enough of Trash Boat's Lux.
Yeah, last time Trashboat did a good job. I mean, that leaves Orianna open for him again. He did do a really good job first game. He did get targeted a lot, and they ended up losing, but we'll have to see where he does go. Hopefully I can see the game back up. It looks like we might have the wrong screen up. Sorry about that, guys. We'll head back to the game in a second. So maybe he'll get an Orianna again. We'll have to see. I'm not sure what the other bans are now, Pastry.
Well, we've got Zyra, Lux, and Tristana now the 3 bans for Avant-Garde Redemption, and over on the FIGJAM side, Cannon and Nasus have both been banned out here. So one more ban left as we take you through the draft. Just follow the soothing sound of my voice, and everything will be okay, guys. Stay calm and think about League of Legends. One more ban left here, 10 seconds now on the clock. And Blue 9-0 here, captaining this draft, going to have to go with Elise as this final one here. An interesting tidbit. Apparently 3.9 means nobody wants to play Jace anymore because he's been dropped completely through picks and bans. Something we never would have thought would happen on 3.8 here, but apparently that changed enough to deter some players here, at least in this series, from picking that one up. And Zach's going to get the first pick up here from Avant, it looks like. There was a Zach ban, I believe, in both other games, so clearly respected that champion given, and Avant-Garde are going to go for Zach here to start things off. And I know that both their jungler, Aviator and Ballasta both like to play Zach, so Avant pretty happy with this pick to start things off, but I mean, I guess if they deny the Lux, then they can't deny the Rumble, and Rumble is going to get picked to pick for Riolu as well as that Thresh as well, and with how well Teals played that Thresh in the last game, it's going to be a great blocker pick there for FIGJAM.
That he did. Kennen being banned out as well. Maybe a bit of a target towards the composition that they want to run, going straight for that Rumble as well as the Thresh. Maybe they thought, I don't really want to come up against a Cannon with what we're thinking of doing this time. Zach, the first time I've seen Zach in a while, he's really good champion as well. That's not sure whether he'll go top. Probably more likely going to be jungle. We'll have to see what happens there. It'll be a Zach versus Rumble top lane. Could be a bit of trouble for Zach there. We'll have to see. Nami, again, being hovered over here. Not sure if it's been locked in, as well as Nocturne. Nami did a really good job last game, though. That was over on the FIGJAM side.
Yeah, it looks like it is going to be Zach top lane. I think Avant just going through the jungle as they want. They had Nocturne, but looks like they're going to audible here and actually go for Jarvan instead, who I guess could go top as well, so there is always that option to swap it up. But I think just based on what we know about Avant and their playstyle, I'm pretty sure Balasta loves Zach in top lane, and Papa mentioned it over the weekend. Zach is one of those champions that just kind of splits any lane that he's in. It's so hard to kill with that passive. All that health regen as well as his blobs fly off him, and he's got great wave clear. He just chills out and clears up mini waves and kind of walks back and forth getting farm. And if he ever gets ahead, he can be pretty dangerous in a gank situation. A great teamfight champion as well, of course. And Zach's just very safe, a very strong pick, and a very safe one to pick up first in there as well. Nunu actually gets through here though, something I didn't think about as we went through the draft, and now that's what Bluey90's thinking about picking up here for the jungle against Jarvan. I mean, even someone like Jarvan who's a decent duelist, Nunu can still walk in and consume all your creeps, although Nunu was nerfed slightly in this patch as well. Remember, Consume has had some damage lopped off it at level 1, so it's closer to a smite in power at that level. So Nunu not going to be able to do nearly as much shenanigans, but still pretty good. And of course, as I say that, immediately swap away to Nocturne. I'm going to have Nocturne Karthus for the global power here coming out. Very curious comp here, and it's always interesting to me. They seem to love Rumble. And in Game 1, they didn't have Rumble and they didn't have Lux. Game 2, they pick up their comfort champions. They pick up Lux, they pick up Rumble. They don't have the option of Lux this time around. It got banned out here. But of course, they've got the Rumble. I think Trashboat, I don't necessarily think he's feeling out a couple of champions, but I think the way the comps are structured here for FIGJAM changes pretty dramatically when they don't have that Lux pick. And he's actually going for Karthus for double global here along with Nocturne. So very curious to see how that works out. I mean, Wall of Pain, a pretty good kiting skill as well. So they're kind of similar there. I actually really like the Karthus. I think it's a little better than the Orianna that they might have played here as well, which we saw from Game 1. But we'll have to see. The pick's now completed, of course, over in the Avant side. And Smiley Face is going to go back to the vein that served him so well in that first game here. And Cassidy, again, also going to come in here for Lord Fabulous.
That's right. I really like the Karthus pickup against the Jarvan. It's just one of the, that just takes away a target for J4 to throw a Cataclysm down. If he throws a Cataclysm down onto Karthus, it's big trouble. Just the AoE damage coming out from him, and as well as locking him in at the front of the team fight is just, he's just not a preferable target when you're looking at engaging as a J4. Even J4 into Rumble is quite a dangerous pick as well. Could lock in a couple of teammates with that Cataclysm. The Equalizer will come out, and it's pretty much GG from there. But Cassidy being picked up into a Karthus in mid lane. What are your thoughts on that one, Pacey? That's a bit crazy.
For me, I think that matchup actually quite heavily favors Cassidy in a 1v1 situation.
Yeah.
I mean, the ranges are kind of similar. Karthus obviously has an advantage early on because Leo H is so good at farming from range, and Cassidy is very melee before he can get that roof walk and get that mobility going. As we have an interesting kind of question here. I think we may have had interesting. I think we may have had a placeholder pick made here. So for those of you who are not sure what that means, basically a placeholder pick is where you pick a champion that you're not intending on playing because whoever is picking that round does not own a particular champion. So I think that's what happened here. I don't quite know which champion in particular it's going for, but I believe the rules are obviously very strict for this tournament, and they're just checking to make sure that they are allowed, in fact, to do this. Otherwise, I believe they will have to play with the champions they're given. So the lobby's actually stopped now, if you can see that on stream. You may not be able to, and but I can tell you that players are just talking about it. Making sure they contact an admin and get the proper ruling here. So we'll have to see and get it checked, and both teams kind of correctly realizing, you know what, we're not too sure. We'd like to make a placeholder pick here if possible over on the FIGJAM side, but, have to check things with the rules, of course. And as I said, if that's not the case, then whatever pick they made that was a placeholder, they're going to have to make instead, unfortunately. And, obviously on stuff like a tournament round, this doesn't happen. We are on the Oceanic live server, but I mean, players definitely knew that coming in. They would have had the rules presented to them well in advance. So unfortunately, that is on FIGJAM if they didn't realize that, but we'll have to see. And just make to check what the ruling is here for that particular pick. I mean, I can't quite figure out which champion was going to be the placeholder, so I have to say FIGJAM's gone pretty good just as it is, but I'm very curious to see what champion they would have liked to pick here. Of course, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it could be pretty devastating if someone has to play out of position. I mean, hoping that FIGJAM have read through the rules, so I'm guessing that's what they're calling for, and it won't be long before we are back into the game, guys. But if they do have to play out of position, that would be... It'd be very devastating, especially at this stage in the tournament, Game 3. Both teams are 1-1. This is the decider to make it through, make it or break it for your team to go to PAX or not. It's we'll have to see what happens from that. I'm sure it won't be long before we do get into it. But as you were saying, FIGJAM's team comp, I really like that team composition as well. Karthus' global presence, along with Nocturne's global presence, you could get some really nice ganks off, and I think they'll be looking to try and shut down Vayne early on as much as you can, because Vayne is just one of those champions that is just so popular and so good in the current meta. She can carry your team through that late game, as Avant-Garde did show in game one. They were behind to begin with against FIGJAM. They were 0-6, if I recall, when I came in, and they turned that around to take away the first game. Unfortunately for Avant-Garde, FIGJAM were able to come back and take away game two, and here we are now at game three.
Yep, so Game 3 is getting back on board as well. The admins have ruled it's fine at this stage of the tournament because there are very few teams. It's fairly easy to admin the games. They're all being closely watched by the admins and referees, of course, as well. So it's all fine. I mean, obviously in the early stages of the tournament in stage one, where things are absolutely massive and it's chaos, it's really difficult to allow that sort of thing just because there are so many teams and, the admins are already stretched trying to make sure the matches happen as fairly as possible. So policing that sort of stuff, not too good. But at this stage, down to the top 16 where the games really do matter down and think about, especially here in a game 3, it's all good. And Twitch is the pick instead of Misfortune, which was the AD that was going. So it should be all good. The admins have informed the players and they're ready to go whenever they want. So it looks like we are going to get back into this lobby here, probably pick quickly through everything, and we should be back here for game 3 between Avant-Garde Redemption on the left, the blue side for this time, up against FIGJAM on the right. They're going to be our red squad, and this should be just a nice recap, everybody. If you have missed it, of course, welcome. You've joined us. You've missed a hell of a series, actually, here as we are down to game 3 here, our last game of the evening for tonight's broadcast, but it should be a good one here, and we are going to get to see bit of some troll bans. That's okay. As long as I remember what they banned, it's okay. Zed Zillion, I think another Zed champion going to get banned out here as well.
There's not many Zed champions. They can't keep going on with this. It's a wonder they didn't spell any words. So Zed Zillion, and that's it, I think, for Zeds. I can't think of any more.
Ziggs? Was
Ziggs,
the last band there,
Ziggs. There you go. Yeah. So you can see ahead of me. Ziggs, that little sneaky bugger.
He's in there. So just picks coming back and forth here.
Yeah, for those watching, this is a remake, so bands don't matter. For you just joining us, this is a complete repick.
Those are not the real bands, just so you know. I think the 3 bands over on the Avant side are actually the ones they planned out, but Cannon was in there. Can't quite remember, unfortunately, at this stage. My memory is fading a little as we get a little later into this evening, but thankfully the League of Legends is still awesome, and there's plenty of good stuff left here in this last game of the evening as all the players pick up their champs nice and quickly. And then we get things going again. Last game, as we keep saying here in this best of 3, it's 1 apiece here. Avant-Garde Redemption picked up the first one. FIGJAM firing back in the second. And of course, it's all down to this. Remember, we're still single elimination here. And only the top 4 teams get to go to the event at PAX. So really want to make sure they can get their slot to the Oceanic Championships. Tickets to PAX. Whole world of awesomeness, and of course guaranteed prize money in there as well, in a share of that nice juicy $40,000 prize pool. Yes, you heard that correctly, 40k on the line here at PAX, but you got to get there first here in night 2 or day 2 of the top 16. We're cutting to top 8 here for the weekend, and one team is going home, Menace. That's the unfortunate part.
That is sad for 5 members of one of these teams. They will be going home empty-handed completely. I guess they're probably still at home right now playing, or maybe at some kind of LAN event, or cafe. For those guys who are asking in in Twitch chat there, they're saying what happened. I guess maybe you've been away. What happened was one of the guys over on FIGJAM, they used the rule. I can't remember the term. What was the term of the rule? Placeholder. So they didn't own the champion that they wanted to pick out. They used the rule placeholder to get themselves a Twitch. So they picked up the Misfortune, but that was not the pick that they wanted. They wanted Twitch, so they've gone to the admins and basically said, hey, we want Twitch, not Misfortune. We're using the placeholder rule to get out of that one.
Yep, just to inform you as well that the players immediately told the other team which champion they were picking as well. So it's not like they're trying to buy time and stalling to make their pick. They picked MF and immediately told them that, hey, that's actually a Twitch. The guy is on a Smurf and doesn't actually own that champion. So there is that. They're totally allowed at this stage of the tournament. Was not allowed in the earlier stages, just to clarify. But of course, down to these important games, down to the final few teams, that is totally fine. And Twitch now the pickup, which is why we've had the remake and some very creative ZZZ bands here as well. well. So ZZZ, maybe the bans here will not be the state of the game, I imagine, given what we've seen so far between these two teams. Feels very evenly matched here, and one good team is going to get to go through. Of course, one good team also has to go home. So we'll see now as the 2-minute delay time as we're down to here in our 3 minutes of inbuilt delay. Very curious to see. I mean, Menace, you've been with me here. You've saved the day yet again, jumping in for game 1 when my computer decided to explode just a little bit. After seeing the first 2 games, who would you give the edge to coming into game 3?
We've seen both of these teams come back from a horrible start. They both have shown some really, really good team composition, team plays, and teamwork for both of them. I mean, this is anyone's game right now, Pastry. It is really anyone's game. It's going to come down to the picks and bans, which we have already gone through. And looking at it at this stage, I really do like FIGJAM's lineup. Bottom lane Thresh Twitch is going to be make life for Vayne and Sona very difficult, I think. There is the sustain from Sona, but she's the lowest health pool champion at level 1 in the entire game. She's super squishy. All it's going to take is a hook and an expunge from Twitch to pretty much guarantee first blood. There's no ignite down there for either team. They're both gone barrier, which is pretty much standard these days. Sometimes some people may run an ignite on Thresh if they do want to go aggressive, but he's picked up the exhaust. So in my mind, I think that the team composition from FIGJAM, and I think you'll agree, Pastry, is really good. Twitch, Thresh, bot lane going to carry him through this one, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, both comps seem very good. Again, it's a lot like the Game 1 comp, actually, with no Lux here. They didn't pick it in Game 1. They do not have the option to pick it at all, as it was banned here by Avant. So, I mean, they've both got, strong late-game carries. They've got Cassidy back here as well for Avant. There's a lot of comfort picks here. Riolu back with the Rumble as well. Thresh, of course, deadly in almost either of the support players' hands here on these teams. So, very happy to have that one in there as well. I like both the comps. I have to say, I think a lot of this is going to honestly come down to play skill. I think they've both picked comfortable champions. I believe they should be both comfortable with the comps. I mean, we haven't quite seen FIGJAM feel comfortable without their Lux, but I think Trashbot is, I'm sure, a fine Karthus player, and I think it fits the way they like to play enough that they'll be able to pull this one through. With the comp they've got, as I said in Game 1, just did not look as comfortable. Avant really had their way with them towards the end of that game, despite being down early there with some aggressive play from Blue 90 out of the jungle. So, be curious to see what happens there. I think the most interesting thing here is that the lanes here are probably going to be fought for. I think we're going to see some swaps, because I mentioned it before Game 1, before we had a couple of issues, that Kasten absolutely suffers in a 1v2 situation. And as you asked me about the matchup, Menace, I think Kasten has a massive advantage over Karthus in lane, especially given that Kasten has Ignite and Trashbot's actually going to teleport. And that teleport says to me that Trashbot does not want to be 1v1 against Kasten. So we're going to see some swaps. I mean, Vayne is great in a 2v1. She's very, very good at single target damage, and she picks up farm pretty comfortably here as well. Sorry, Twitch is also good in that situation, who I meant to say, but if we are going to have some swaps, both the bottom lanes here are going to have to act really decisively, and very curious to see what happens here, because Karthus totally fine 1v2. Cassidy is not the case here, so I can almost guarantee a lane swap, Menace. Without seeing the game, I can't guarantee it, but from this stage, given what we've seen, I think they'd be crazy not to try and make that swap.
Yeah, I agree with that call. It's going to be a very reactive lane swap, I think, though. A matter of seeing who's going to go where. Probably going to see a bit of early warning, I would imagine. Last game, if we cast back to what happened, I think it was Avant-Garde. They grouped up, went top lane, and caught an off-guard Rumble. I'm not sure what he was doing. First blood went down to Avant-Garde. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough to see him through the game. They did end up losing out on that one. But we will have to see. There's a few wards down being picked up. Karthus getting himself a ward as well. And there's pings going around that bottom river from both teams, so they might both be heading down there, maybe to try and get some vision, see what's going to happen early on, maybe get an invade or predict some kind of invades that are coming.
Well, Avant had a great level 1 to start off Game 2, getting a quick plus blood on Riolu. So, they may stick us 5 here again, try and get something done. Both teams, but Jungler's at least going to stay high in the river. Blue United is going to spot off that banner and likely get spotted here himself. Can see the pings. They do want to invade, it seems like, to Avant. Vayne's actually hanging out towards the top lane, which already, to me, indicates that we might see a lane swap coming out here. It looks like they might want to go up towards the top lane. I guess they're hanging around mid as well, so there's also potential there. But both teams really want to make sure that the early jungle goes right, it seems like. I mean, the level 1s here, both decent on both sides. Part of the issue here is it's actually 4v5 right now for FIGJAM, with the Rumble up in the top towards the Tribush, so definitely have to make sure they don't get caught out here. But Karthus getting vision there with layaways, throwing some into that bush though from the back of Dragon. So nice bit of play there, getting vision. And looks like Jarvan's going to start towards this red buff. They want to protect it because, of course, Jarvan wants to make sure he finishes at top lane when he has those double buffs. And this ward's going to be put down here. I don't think we're going to see any more further action, although I may be wrong about the buff Jarvan wants to start it because he's now walking towards the blue. But very interesting posturing there from both teams, but it doesn't look like we're going to get anything major happening at level 1.
Yeah, you are definitely right, though. Twitch is poking around mid lane at the moment. Thresh is just a little bit bot lane, throwing down. And Karthus will be down in bot lane, so it could be a Twitch Thresh top, but I'd say it'd be a mid lane for those guys as they help out Nocturne with that red buff. J4's going to go get the blue as well. Cassidy going to be at 1v2 in this mid lane, and he's going to have a tough time, that's for sure, getting as much CS as he can. He does have a bit of range on his Q, so he'll be able to get a little bit of CS early on until he hits level 6, and I'd assume that J4 will be looking to try and gank as best as he can. And Vayne, Sona up top against the Rumble. So you called it, and you were definitely right. Lots of lane swaps going around.
The funny thing to me is with all these lane swaps is that the only response I can naturally think of here for Avant was like, well, if they're going to swap in mid, let's swap Cassidy somewhere. And they've actually kind of half done that. They've got Ballasta down the bottom 1v1 against Karthus, who swapped out of his lane, obviously. They didn't go ahead and complete the other swap and give Cassidy a solo against Rumble. And I guess the theory is that Rumble's a pretty bad matchup for Cassidy, especially early on. Rumble is a bully from level 2 and 3. Good hook there and a fabulous though. And this is exactly why he's not going to have any fun in this lane. He gets chunked down. And I almost thought it was weird that Thresh was not helping in the jungle. He actually was in mid, just hanging out here as Avian is forced to do a bit of babysitting early on here. So no gank pressure there. Just, was like, I have to help this Cassidy. And he's doing the right thing here as well by protecting him. But Cocaine got a quick level 2 there that's going to make a lot of good aggression here from Thresh, and of course Cassidy, he's not going to do a whole lot of anything. Maybe just, last hit at tower, throw out some null switch for CS, and he really just have to sit tight here and hope nothing too bad happens. And a good response here from Jarvan coming in early and just trying to relieve some of this 2v1 pressure.
Yeah, maybe Cocaine is just going, all right, you guys go help him out with the red buff. I want to try and get a nice and early level 2 so we can get those ganks off on Cassidy before he hits level 6, because once he hits level 6, the mobility of Cassidy is just really high, and it's really good to see Cassidy coming out. This is twice we've seen it in these games, and he was played very well in the first one against Orianna, and he did turn around the game and eventually win for Avant-Garde. So once again, the fabulous there on a Cassidy pick. It seems like it's one of the comfortable picks for him down in mid lane.
Yeah, good poke in the top lane there as well. Riolo actually getting chunked very low there by the Sona Vayne, and Sona's single target damage didn't quite talk about either. When that power core gets going, it's a lot of pain here. And Blue 90 actually getting poked off here as well. Like both junglers doing the right thing here, relieving some of that 1v2 pressure by coming in and babysitting the lane. And this is some of those things become more and more common, kind of navigate the early stage of the landing phase here. I mean, it's not pretty as a jungler to have to do this, but sometimes it's just necessary. And Cassidy's lane would be even worse than it is now. In fact, he's started a lot of region. He had Flask and some potions there, the Crystalline Flask, but he chugged down some potions already and has got one left, I think, mostly due to the fact that Jarvan's come in and relieved some of that pressure. So, nice play overall. Both 2v1 lanes playing nice and aggressively here. And, I mean, when that first tower goes down, all hell tends to break loose. And I think both teams want to conserve it for as long as possible. So,
I think we're going to see a lot shorter game this round, especially with all the lane swaps coming out. But Nocturne not having so much of a fun time up in that top lane. He was pretty much forced out, and like you said, no one really wants to, as a jungler, go into lane and have to help out the 2v1 solo laner. It's just not a good situation to be in, especially up top against Vayne and Sona, where you saw Nocturne was forced out already, and he's come back to lane. His buffs are all but gone. He's got his blue buff still, but that won't be around for too much longer. It won't be a while before we see his first blood. I'm pretty sure I'll be eating my words very soon, but my prediction will be, it'll be a little while before we do catch our first blood as everybody's playing very safe. And here you go.
Yeah, Blue 90 in the top lane going deep. Good fear and damage here as the Flame Spitter comes out. Riolu digging level 3, able to get a lot of damage done there to Vayne, but the Sona heals do come out. Sona a little low on mana at this point. I think one of the biggest metrics, as you said, Menace, we may not have a first blood with all this babysitting and all this defensive play from both teams here in their pressure lanes, but what we probably will see is a tower go down quickly. And often in these sorts of 2v1 situations, that's the biggest metric for how the early game's really going. And you see that top tower, 1,000 a bit health, about 1,200 there for that one, and a little bit more for mid lane, although Cassidy forced out there down the bottom. Jarvan actually going to babysit, probably at a really fast level 6, funnily enough, which not something we normally see from a jungle Jarvan. He's actually a minute to 2 minutes in front of his par level 6 time.
Oh, bot lane though.
Yeah, bot lane, Zach going deep, and I have to say, Balasta, oh my goodness, the Let's Bounce coming in, he's going for the dive here, doesn't quite get it, and all these blobs, I think Balasta may have miscalculated that dive, does indeed there as Trashbot picks up first blood. Looks like mid-tower might get down there as well, and he is not happy with himself for that play, I can tell you. I mean, he was doing a really nice job there against Trashbot, was ahead slightly in CS, was really pressuring, pushing that tower, but unfortunately they, hit level 6, thought he could get the kill there, and Karthus was just like, I'm fine. And it's funny that it's two different solo laners, both with different zombie passives, Zach's blobs keep him alive, Kassadin's passive keeps him alive through death as well. And Karthus there, sorry, Karthus, not Kassadin. And unfortunately Zach there, had the right idea, thought he could get away from the dive, but not going to happen there. And I think even if Karthus had died, he still would have gotten the return kill there. So a little reckless there for Blaster, I think, but Karthus will take it. He can't be unhappy with that.
Oh, yeah, he's going to be very happy with himself. He is now level 7, and it's going to be easy kills. Mid lane, though. Okay, falling very low. He does get the hook.
Hook coming in, Cataclysm going on. Balasta slingshotting in. Requiem, though, coming through the mid lane. They want to pick up Aviator. Beautiful play there from FIGJAM, and Blue 9-0 picks up a kill. And you're right, that early level 6, now level 7 from Karthus, getting a quick Requiem there for Trashboat. Really nice coordination. He's using those globals to great effect. And that's going to turn around that gank there. I mean, I like that they've rotated here. I think Kassadin wants to be against Karthus, which is why he's happy here. I mean, honestly, part of me feels like Avant should have just swapped and had 4 people mid and put their duo lane there. But, they went for the pressure. They've got the first tower. Oh, sorry, the second tower now as mid's already gone. But they did get the tower quite early. This game's going to open up very quickly here, but a couple of misplays here and there for Avant in the early game. I mean, we did say that it seemed like the team that was ahead ended up being behind, so maybe that is good news for Avant here, but they're probably not happy with this start coming into this game 3.
This is looking very much like game 1, though. Kassadin again, as well as the Vayne, they are behind. They managed to turn it around. I mean, it's still very early days, 0-2. They're not far behind in gold 4K. Here comes Twitch bot lane, trying to get aggressive onto Kassadin, who is now finally level 6, able to get that bit of extra mobility, and they want to take this bot lane as well.
Yeah, level 6 a big deal for Kassadin. I mean, and it's an understatement to say that he gets better at level 6. Literally, the way his entire kit works happens at level 6. So his ultimate's very, very important. But one thing he cannot do until he has more levels is wave clear effectively. He's got Null Sphere here for damage. It's also good in that pressure situation because he can just last hit creeps with it as well, which is not ideal, but when that's all you have, that's fine. But cannot clear waves. That's why there was a really nice bit of pressure they put down with 3 members in the bot there for FIGJAM. And now they're going to try and get a very, very early dragon. But they're all grouped up here. I think Ivana caught a little off guard. They have warded it off, but it's going to be really hard for them to crack it into the pit.
I see what you did there, Van caught off guard. I see that. Early dragon, there it is.
Oh, Cataclysm in there as well. Blu-ray could be in trouble. X going in as well. Final out. Blue Knight getting completely wrecked here by Vayne. A good ult there from Teals as well. Locks a couple people up. And now Smiley caught a little out of position. Let's bounce there from Balasta. They're trying to clean up the carries here. Trashboat low as well. But Smiley face can't contend here. 1v3 he is. Flashes out of the way. If he can make it out alive, it'll be a miracle. But Riola and Cocaine chasing him down. Lots of damage done. Good hook there on the Balasta as well. Smiley falls there. Balasta likely going to fall here as well. Flays backwards so he can't get over the wall. Does flash at the last second and is able to get out of it. And as the dust settles, a 3-for-2 trade there in favor of FIGJAM. They'll take it. I think Avant got to be happy that didn't go a little worse, but really interesting fight. A little wonky on both sides, but that early dragon, risky there from FIGJAM, but they just managed to trade up, and I believe they got the dragon as well.
Yes, they did. J4 did jump in Cataclysm, but wasn't able to smite away. As you can see, he still has his smite up, so they did take that one down. Requiem was not up for Karthus in that team fight. That could have been a really big deciding factor with that one. Maybe they would have left Karthus alone, but they knew the Requiem was down, so they did go a little bit hard down onto Karthus. Took him out of the game pretty early on. He was very low mana. Actually, he had to turn off his Defile. Yeah, that's the one I'm looking for. He had to turn it off, so he wasn't able to do as much damage, I guess, as intended. He now has the blue buff, so he'll be able to farm up. So 2-for-1 Karthus, though, still looking pretty good. Got a Catalyst and a Blasting Wand, as well as a Tear. Well on his way to being that late game beast that he can become. And the Gold League still very much in Avant-Garde's FIGJAM's favour.
Rift works out of there, and that's part of the power of Kassadin at this point. I mean, Fabulous, he is hurting for farm right now. He doesn't even have a Catalyst complete right now. He's got a Doran's Ring and the Ruby and the Sapphire Crystal, and they're going to, again, 3-man here to defend the 3-man push coming out from FIGJAM as well. Ooh. The hook almost landing on a Teals probably would have been a kill there onto that Sona. But I mean, Kassadin needs to get some farm. Karthus at this point is really happy with what's going on. He didn't get as much farm as maybe he'd like. Did not get free farm, that's for sure, with all that pressure from Zach, but it's definitely beating that Cassidy in this spot. And Fabulous is just not having a fun time at all here as Cassidy. This is part of the problem with picking up Cassidy. He's very vulnerable to these sorts of situations, and now he's trying to find an empty lane to farm in, and FIGJAM aren't giving him any opportunity to farm at all. Aviator now getting a hook in there as all the damage coming into play in there as well. Great crescendo there from Shields, but I think it's mainly just on defense, and the Expunge and the Requiem's going to clean up Aviator, and again, good use of the global there by Trashboat.
Yeah, nice work there. I'm not sure if Vayne was able to stop the channeling of Requiem, but picking up the kill is a good job. I know you're saying that you said exactly the same thing I said last game. Cassidy is having first game. Cassidy is having a horrible time. He didn't even have a catalyst when I was saying the exact same thing. Top lane now, though, here comes the Equalizer down onto Ballista. He's just going to walk away from that one. A little bit back down onto the Rumble, but not much going to happen. But yeah, as I was saying, he didn't even have a catalyst, and it was pretty much the same story, but Avant-Garde were able to turn it around, so I'm not counting them out just yet. I mean, they are really not looking too great at this stage in the game, but anything can happen, as proven in the first two games of this best of three. And bot lane is gone. And like you said, Pastry, everything has gone to hell. Pretty much just broken loose since those first few turrets have gone down, and it's just team fight central, ganks all over the place. Definitely not a traditional game of League of Legends that you do see. The lane swapping causes, these guys to have to think on their feet really, really well. Junglers are not able to perform, I guess, in a vanilla type style. They just have to try and defend the lanes, and it's working really well though for the guys on FIGJAM. They're farming quite well. Cassidy is 3 for 1. He's got a Rod of Ages already, Pastry. It's going to be pretty hard for Avant-Garde.
Yeah, I think it's funny that you mentioned that, you can't play vanilla. That's a really nice way to put it. I mean, these teams most certainly would have experience in this situation, so, they're not, this isn't new to them. They've experienced this before. They definitely know how to combat it. But one of the best things going here that's different from game one is that Cassidy loves this situation, because not only is he a great farmer, and he is power farming here. You can see the difference between the two APs, 89 to 54 in CS. The other difference is that Trashboat doesn't need to be somewhere to put pressure on. All he has to do is activate Requiem, and twice now Karthus has been involved in kills. Well, he was nowhere near the map, and that's just going to give him gold, give him farm that Cassidy would desperately love to have, but has to actually physically be in the spot there. No amount of mobility is as good as a global here, and that's the big difference to me, is that not only is Cassidy hurting off farm, Trashboat's getting so much farm in here as well. Oh, wow. The Slingshot's going to come in, the Cataclysm's down here as well. Box out there for Garcane defensively. Good crescendo they're coming in, and Avant one more time are going to make it happen with some very strong grouping, but it's actually a trade there as Trashboat goes down in exchange for Aviator. But I mean, this is what happened to Avant last game, and what better way to give your farm start catching more gold by then getting him kills and assists, and this is exactly what we saw in game one, Menace. They were behind early, things weren't looking so great, Cassidy was having issues, and Avant grouped immediately and said, screw this, we don't want no more of your landing split push shenanigans, we're just going to completely take out the mid tower here, roll through here, pick up a kill, and that's exactly what they've done. So from this position last game, Avant were able to navigate and get through, despite also being behind a similar amount of gold. The question is, with Blue Nigeria, they're taking up a turret up in top lane and getting some free farm here as Twitch. Have FIGJAM learnt their lesson from last game? And are their picks different enough? Is this Karthus influential enough with that global to make the difference here?
Well, as you say, all the while Twitch was top lane farming away, got himself that top turret. So maybe, fairly even trade. But at the start of that team fight down near the Dragon, I was thinking, why is J4 going down onto this Karthus? But the reason he did engage, I think, is that the window of opportunity where Requiem was down. So they want to try and team fight when Requiem is down, and he managed to engage. He's going, all right, guys, I'm going in. I'm going to try and make something of this. And as you said, they're like, I'm really sick of the shenanigans that are going on with the trade. I see Dragon falling very quickly for FIGJAM now. They take that one with no contest at all, giving them even more gold lead. But yeah, Avant-Garde going, all right, this is the time we need to get together and we need to make good team fights happen. J4 said, yeah, I'm diving straight down on Karthus. He's got no Requiem. We'll take him out of the team fight fairly quickly and just move away. But unfortunately, J4 did get a little bit too deep without the support from his team and did fall. But they got that mid lane out of it anyway, so not bad for Avant-Garde.
Smiley chasing down Blue 90 down the bottom as well, but gives it up there as very sneaky Nocturne trying to take away that red buff. But Blade of the Ruin King Bane not to be trifled with in the 1v1. And Smiley's going to pick his red up here, which we'll be happy about. I mean, Menace, with that dragon being done by FIGJAM there as well, I'm getting actual deja vu from game 1 because the mid tower went down and then FIGJAM got dragon. This is almost an accelerated version. It's about 4 to 5 minutes faster than what we saw in game 1, but other than that, very, very similar here. So really interesting. And as I said, what have those two teams learnt here in this series? We always talk about, the metagame and the actual overall metagame. What's popular, what's not, what's being played in competitive play, what are the trends here? Just kind of general League of Legends stuff. We've also mentioned in extended series, so best of 3, best of 5, best of 7, obviously in this case a best of 3, there's a kind of a mini, smaller metagame that goes in between the two teams. You learn about the other team playing in an extended series, A Lux ban is not a standard ban, but against a team like FIGJAM here, with Trashboat's strong Lux play and the way they like to play, especially with the Rumble, Lux is just a ban that you should know about and think. And really by game 3, if Avant hadn't banned it out, I'd kind of be questioning their strategy a little. So, they've done that, they've adapted, and even coming to the game now with both teams playing such a similar game to game 1, what have they learned is a really important thing here. And, it's been a close series the whole way through. We've fittingly gone to game 3 here in this one, and I think how they perform from this spot, what have Avant learned from what they played last time? What does Blue 90 learn about Zach? Well, apparently he's living pain right now. So that's Bounce is coming in the top lane. Nocturne, though, coming in for defense, and Blue 90 wants to turn it around, but Luster could be in trouble. Flashes out of the way before the fear can come in, and Blue 90 is going to chase him down, but they cannot kill that Zach. Passive even up just in case, and that was a very sneaky play there from Ballasta. But I think Intelligent saying to Twitch, you're not allowed to split push anymore. I'm going to be there and I can kill you.
Yeah, that's a lot of cooldowns being used there. Sona had to use a crescendo mid lane there to defensively keep Cassidy alive as he gets hooked. But I was going to mention, by the way, that the reason we're seeing such similar games is because these teams are so evenly matched. This is, like, if you cast yourself back to the first day of streaming where we were watching a few of the earlier games, there was a lot of, I guess, uneven matchups because of the way it was. It was a best of 1 single round elimination. You don't get a second chance. We've now withered them down to these teams that are playing at such a high level that we're seeing these best of 3 games go to a third game. This one, I said it was going to be a quick game. I take that back now. It's probably going to be a fairly long game. We may be in for another 20 minutes or even more of team fighting because of the way that these teams play. They make very minimal mistakes at this level of play, and they're doing so well as a team to coordinate themselves. And I'd just like to take a chance to commend both of them. It doesn't matter, like, at the end of the day, both of these guys, both these teams are playing so well, and it still is anybody's at this stage.
Well, I mean, it's funny because both teams have good late game as well. Like, it's almost in this situation where it looks like it might be getting a little stalemate. Like, yes, there's obviously a clear advantage here for FIGJAM, and they are happy with the few thousand gold they're up ahead. In fact, they're 4.5k up, which is no slouch here at the 90-minute mark as we tick towards that 20-25 minute spot here in this game. But, both teams are kind of stalemating. They're pushing out. They're trying to get control here. The towers are pretty even. The kills, not so much, but that's where a lot of the gold for FIGJAM's coming, plus those 2 dragons. And both teams have a hyper AD carry, a hyper AP carry, a good front line, all the tools they really need to get in and have good team fights. So late game, I'm not even sure who's going to win, but, both teams going to have to really play smart and pressure and use the mind games, dance around that Baron at the 25-30 minute mark. And I think, for me, the difference here between the comps, the biggest difference in Champions League, if you look at the 10 championship from game 1 or the 10 championship from this one, Karthus is a big difference here in this game. And Trashboat is doing all these awesome things. He's going to get jumped on another blocks in there as well for Thresh. Damage coming through there as blocks. Equalizer comes in, but Jarvan answers it. There's the Equalizer coming down, and both teams kind of walk away pretty healthy. Zach, though, looking to come in and bounce his way in. Slingshot coming off, but he doesn't quite get there. Decides to cancel it off instead.
Wow, that was a huge team fight. Really good disengage, and here comes the Requiem down.
Oh, fabulous in trouble. There's the Requiem doing damage, but he's just alive there. Blue 90 can't quite get it to Riolo, exhausted as he comes through, as Nocturne does pick the kill up there under Cassidy. Aggressive Requiem there, but a 2-for-1 trade in favor of Avant-Garde. It looks like they are going to be able to maybe push down here. They could try for Baron, but I don't think they quite have the damage. Dragon, not quite up yet. I think it's still about a minute away, so they likely can't do that either. But they're going to try and get something here. Look down the bottom, a massive wave of minions, possibly getting some exit kills, but probably going to get the tier 3 and even the towers up 3-3. And, that's good. As we always say, when you get kills in League of Legends, that's not quite enough. You need objectives in there as well. And Avant going to take what they can get here. They'll take the 2-4 trade, and they'll take the tier 3 here as well.
That's right. So that was a good series of events for Avant-Garde. they did, as I was saying before, they started that second team fight, a really good disengage, use of Crescendo. It was a 4-man Crescendo, and on top of that, J4 went in with the Cataclysm and just got out as soon as he could, which really sort of put FIGJAM a little bit on the back foot. I thought, they were sort of toying with the idea of re-engaging after those big cooldowns were used, but it didn't really come to fruition. FIGJAM coming away, a 2-for-1 exchange, and Aviator there on J4 picking up a double kill, which is always handy, I guess. He's going to be building straight to an Aegis of Legion, and I assume straight into a Runic Warp. He does have the Emblem of Valor in his kit, trying to get as much money towards his team as possible, and you see that very much. And here comes the Dragon. As you said, it was about a minute away, and another easy Dragon for FIGJAM.
Yeah, I have to say, I don't quite know what Aviator was thinking with the Spirit of the Elder Lizard. Like, the item's fine on Java, and it's definitely the more aggressive of the two standard Spirit Stone items. And yeah, as I said, it's totally fine. But the part of the issue here, and something that I praised him for game one for actually, was that he built a very quick Bulwark against the double AP. Here with Rumble Karthus, you want Bulwark so bad. And it's going to be delayed here. I mean, as you said, he's got most of the bits in there, but his Aegis will be up in, I mean, if he has the gold now, I'll just quickly check. He's 350 gold away from just the Aegis part, and he needs the Bulwark in there as well. So that item definitely needs to be finished as soon as possible here for Jarvan. And, his aggressive choice here, I think he was hoping that he'd maybe be able to gank a little more, be a bit more aggressive, maybe force some earlier fights, but unfortunately it's not happened here, and that is going to hurt the team. That Cataclysm, though, from nowhere onto Blue 9-0, the damage rate turns around. Look how quickly that Jarvan dies. So much AP damage there between those teams, and Equalizer gets it done there. Teal's going in, but here comes Blue United in there as well. They want Smiley face tech. They need the other carry. Looks like they're just going to back off here, and they honestly could try for Baron here if they really want to, and I think that's what they want to do.
Zach's up there, though. He's going to try and get away.
Oh, the Hawk does hit there! Over the top for Cocaine on the Ballasta. And there's the slow as well. He tries to bounce up, but he gets boxed in there as well. Flash forward there from Blu-ray 90 to get in there. Favorite's going to try to do what he can. Ballasta, I believe, has his passive up here. This could be a little too deep. The Requiem going to pick it up. The Flob, so not quite taking enough damage. I don't know if they're all going to die. Looks like they are going to get enough Flobs in. No, not quite. Zach's still alive. One more hit. Does pick it up there for Blue 9-0. Good bit of trade tanking there from FIGJAM to make sure they get that done. And they probably can't do Baron now, but they'll be pretty happy with that kill.
Cocaine must be feeling pretty good after that one. Landing that hook after Zach dash away is a teleport from Karthus. He's heading bot and farm it up. But wow, what an amazing hook from Cocaine on that Thresh. And I'm so glad in the end they were able to secure that kill because Cocaine deserved that one. Zach didn't die. And look at the guys from Avant-Garde. They're trying to push this, this opportunity and try and maybe get themselves Baron. They're probably going to have to back away from that one. A wise decision as the ward was spotted from Thresh. And there.
Yeah, bit of the same situation from last game there. We saw a Thresh ward the back of Baron and see a team try for it, but Cocaine there with presence of mind, Rumble in the area as well, poked them off it. A bit of a desperation Baron there for Avant. They're not, so behind it. I think they need to be pulling that out, but they thought, if we can sneak this in here, there's absolutely no reason to not take it. It would go such a long way to bring us back into this game. So, wisely trying to take that out, but well spotted there, both off by Rumble and Thresh, and they poked them off there, and Avant very, very quickly disengaged and knowing that, you know what, this is probably a little too dangerous. Yeah,
that's right. So Avant-Garde looking to maybe wait out the game till that Runic Bulwark can be finished and a few more items, get that Phantom Dancer on Vayne as well to try and get a bit more of the power spike going towards them. I really do agree with you, mate. It's going to be Runic Bulwark is essential at this stage of the game, and there is the Aegis of the Legion. So it won't be too long before he will upgrade that, but Aegis is a start. He will be giving that aura off. Sona going a little bit deep with his pink warding at the moment. I think she had an Oracle's earlier on there. Is the Oracle's popped by Thresh. So keep in mind that it is bugged in spectator mode, so we can't see that high above his head. And he's going to go and clear out the Baron pit to try and get as much vision control as he can at this stage. FIGJAM just looking to try and keep the lead that they've got. 5 to 10 kills in favour, and 3 of 3 turrets is pretty much very even on objective-wise, except for Dragon. Every Dragon pretty much has gone in FIGJAM's way. They have done a good job of keeping control and taking the opportunities. A lot of uncontested ones. Even when they've lost the team fight, they've gone straight to Dragon, and Vanguard just really maybe it hasn't crossed their mind. I'm not sure. Maybe they just can't keep up with the timers, but they're doing really good. Yeah.
The thing for Avant is that they just have no map control. And, I mean, I mentioned the wildcard as Karthus. Trashbot here made a really intelligent adaptation to his build. I saw it before a couple of minutes ago. He had Blasting Wand, and he had a Tear of the Goddess. And if you remember this patch, Tear of the Goddess was actually changed, so it's not as efficient as it usually is. The cooldown's a little longer, so you don't get mana as quickly. If you upgrade it to Seraph's Embrace, though, it upgrades even faster than it did before, so you incentivize a little more to finish out Seraphs early and get in there and, just get the mana up. Trashbot could have Seraphs if he wants here, but you know what he said? I have this Blasting Wand, my Tear's still going. You know what I really need? I'm gonna get a Rabadon's. He's 5, 2, and 3 with a massive amount of CS. The highest in the game, in fact, at 202, with Vayne just a little behind there, as his Twitch is also doing the right thing. But I mean, this Karthus is so scary. And if Trashbot had finished his Seraph, that would be even worse. But he's doing massive damage. And that is the difference here in the comp. They didn't have this in game 1, they didn't have a fed Karthus, and now at this point, that's actually what they have, and they've got an even bigger gold lead with 6,500 gold ahead for them, and they could just force a team fight here, and there's not a whole lot that Avant can do about it, so they just got to keep Baron warded up, play safe, and play to their own late game here, because as I said, they've got Cass and they've got Vayne, they've got incredible late game damage in team fight, just like the other team does, and if this game does go long, if we get around the 50-minute mark and both teams are full, we're going to see some crazy team fights.
That they are, and that Rod of Ages really early on means it's been stacked up for quite some time now. And like you said, Rabadon's on Karthus. I think it's a really good pick, especially if you're this far ahead. And Requiem is going to hurt. It really is going to be the deciding factor. If Avant-Garde can force out a Requiem, come out of it unscathed, I highly doubt it's going to happen. That'd be a real win for those guys, and then maybe force another team fight while Requiem is down. But let's have a look at Karthus now. It won't be like a very long cooldown, 1 minute, 2 minutes, so just over 2 minute cooldown on Requiem. That's not very much for something that's a global ultimate in this game. So Avant-Garde gonna have a lot of trouble trying to get the next team fight in their favor. But Vayne is looking very good as well. I might have to throw that in there, a bit of caveat to what I was saying. Vayne is farming quite well. 1, 1, and 4. 4 assists is definitely helping her out. She's got Blade the Ruin King, Phantom Dancer, as well as the boots. And the Doran's Blade won't be long before she starts working on her next item. But solo, another dragon for FIGJAM solo.
Yeah, Blue Ninja's like, yeah, that's fine. I kind of slay this beast. And when you mentioned Vayne's farm, it is good here. Both ADs actually still trying to finish that last Whisper there, but Twitch has already finished Infinity Edge and he has PD up as well. So Twitch's damage absolutely insane at this point. Vayne's certainly respectable, but has gone for more of the standard dueling Blade of the Ruin King to make that mid-game transition a little easy, where Twitch has just rushed the IE for early damage. And here comes Nocturne in the back. Nani going in, trying to get it done. Equalizer down as well. The teleport coming in for Karthus absolutely can't interfere here. Trashbot coming in, a decent crescendo coming out as well. Blue Knight Zero in the back edge getting destroyed by Malasta, but here comes Riol to peel them off. Good flash from Blue Knight Zero as well, but Fabulous gets in there and finishes it off. Trashbot chasing them down now as well, and here comes the Rocket. It's going to do so much damage to everybody. Fabulous takes a ton of damage. There's the double for Karthus. Cassidon actually picks up Rumble, but the triple coming out for Trashbot as he goes massive there. And a good teleport for him to get out there. Actually 4 for 3 traded across the two teams with only a slight lead there to FIGJAM. So all those big carries smash into each other. Trashbot comes in. The ults come down as well. I think Avant have to be happy there, especially given how much gold they're behind, to have a reasonably even team fight. But I mean, that just shows you if Karthus was there for the start of that fight and can get perfectly into position, awful things happen to the Avant side. That's for sure. Now, Trashbo did blow both his summoners to get in amongst that fight. He teleported at the back. Really good reaction time to get that teleport down as soon as possible. He's gone, just their shot caller said, let's do this. TP up on Karthus. I'm guessing Trashbo, maybe their shot caller, and said, let's go down. He's gone in. He's flashed in the middle of them. He actually made it inside the Cataclysm, which really brought Jarvan down so quickly. And at the back, Nocturne doing a lot of disruption. A thing to note here is how differently Nocturne has been built to the previous games that we've seen in a more defensive manner. Oh no, Thresh in trouble though, Patreon. Yeah, he's not in a good spot. Cocaine there could be in trouble, but not quite enough damage there on the two utility champs. Sona Jarvan teaming up, but not enough damage to even kill a reasonably squishy Thresh. So Cocaine's going to get out of that one reasonably happily. I have to say, this Karthus not just influencing the game based on all the damage he's doing, but even the building. Never mind, Blue 90 could be in trouble. Final hour activated in there as well. The equalizer down. They want to get in here if they can. A good slow there for Blue 90, and Teals absolutely has to be dead here. So much damage from that low waste, and Blue 90 cleans up the kill.
That's
Sona's a squishy champion. That was ridiculous there from Trashbot. 8-2-5 on this Karthus. Still skipping the Saros for a Void Staff. 535 AP with a blue elixir box in there as well. And there's nothing they can do. Carthus is fair, absolutely insane. Even if Trashbot dies, his ultimate's going to be back up. He's going to do obscene amounts of damage here. And Smiley's doing what he can. People are diving back and forth. But they know what they need to do there. The hook just missing. Requiem going to come out. Damage there to Jarvan. Almost killing Fabulous in there as well. And FIGJAM, Trashbot carrying his team on his shoulders here this game is Carthus. And what I was trying to mention before that fight broke out is look at Vayne. Just a giant spell because she's so scared of this Carthus.
That's true. The amount of damage Trashbot is doing is obscene. And I kind of like the Void Staff pickup. He's recognised Jarvan has gone now for that Runic Orc, and he wants to get that bit of magic penetration over the top. So it will, it's a bit of counteractive. I really like the Void Staff. As you said, he can pick up so much more from that Seraph's Embrace. Maybe he'll just use that as a quick buy. I mean, he has got a blasting wand. So I dare say that'll be the next item he does get. I guess it's a more, as well as a defensive item, if I can spit the words out, with the shield as well. And he's not really dying very quickly at this stage in the game. So I guess he feels comfortable enough with more offensive type items. But yeah, he's going to be heading back, I reckon, picking up that very soon. Avant-Garde in a bit of trouble now. The gold lead is, FIGJAM's favour.
It's massive. 10,000 plus now in the lead for FIGJAM. And, you mentioned Carthus. The reason, honestly, he's got voice over is just he's snowballing. He doesn't need, a Seraph's Embrace because he can just skip it and get massive damage. And just to really illustrate the problem here, let's have over to the gold real quick. Look at Cassidy's total gold. It's 7,600, 7,645 now as he takes a couple minions. Carthus is almost double him in gold. Trashbot's at 14,000 gold. He was 2 levels above everyone when he was level 16. He's 2,000 gold ahead of his AD carry, who's not been farming poorly. Trashbot is massive. If he was double lift, he would be telling his team how big he was right now. Trashbot is absolutely fed out of his mind.
I'd like to point out as well that half of the gold lead is attributed to Carthus against the Cassidy. So he has a 5k gold lead and they're roughly 10k ahead. So that's half of the gold lead that they have. That is huge. It's definitely the Trashbot carry train for sure.
And Cassidy completely held this game. He managed to get out last game but could not dodge it this game. And that Carthus genius, given, if the lanes are going to be breaking up, Carthus is always there with some pressure and he farms lanes absolutely massively. So if you need push, if you need counter push, Carthus is your man. Trashbot's split pushing right now. His teleport's up. He's like, whatever, Cocaine's got some wards. If I need to come, I'll come. But if I don't answer here, Carthus is just going to eat their base out. And he might not do a whole lot of damage, although with 760 plus AP, he actually doesn't do too badly in the auto attack department. But he annihilates creep players with layways plus Defile. And Avant have to make a false choice here. Papa talked about it all weekend. This is catch-22 situation right now for Avant. They're either going to lose their entire base or start a fight and die immediately. And Avant, they can still hold on here, but they are 14,000 gold behind. And if they get themselves out of this one, then I think we're going to see crazy things moving into our top 8. But at this point, with the Baron buff ticking, with Carthus just absolutely got more gold than a Swiss bank.
Yeah, well, just with the display that we've seen today, the top 8 is going to be amazing. Here comes the engage, Zach down onto Rumble though.
And they just completely missed it. I mean, they're trying to get in. Jarvan went in. Zach went in. Cassidy's down here against Carthus. That's not a good fight. I mean, all Trashbot really has to do is make sure he E's before he gets null sphered. And if Cassidy's in the range, he's going to die very swiftly there. I mean, this split push, Cassidy, as I said, a very mobile champion, which is what they kind of need, given that they don't have a teleport. But nothing much I can really do. They actually go to the top lane. Nocturne in there, and Crescendo comes in. But here comes the teleport. Cassidy tries down the bottom lane. The blocks in there. The Cataclysm actually working against him there. And Trashbot's here on janitor duty. Damage everywhere for the double kill. Zach in there as well, in lots of trouble there. And here comes the Requiem. Goodbye, Zach. Popped in the blocks there. Goodbye, Flubber. Fabulous coming over the top to try and do what he can. But Blue Igniting not even falling. Actually, he does. So Cassidy gets that kill. But FIGJAM there. 4-for-1 trade there. Cassidy made it late. Teleport Carthus got in there as well. I don't know if Advanced Fates can hold up to the rest of this push.
Once again, a really nice move from Trashbot. And here goes the Nexus Turret. I think this might be the end of the game. Well played. Oh, wow, so much burst from Fabulous on the Riolu, though. He's going to have to back away from that one. There's the Sonya's bait. Oh, my God, so huge.
And an ace there for Blue 9-0 to finish things off. Good game, well played. Moving through to the top 8 in a very tense series there, with the carry boat truly the terror of the high seas. It is FIGJAM 2-1 against Avant-Garde Redemption, and what an amazing way to close out our evenings with the broadcast menace.
Wow, that was a really good set of 3 games. They were so evenly matched. It was It was a pleasure to cast, a pleasure to watch, I'm sure. You got off to a rough start, but we got there in the end, and we showed these teams are really, really good teams to be coming into this top 8.
Yeah, and as we said, so many good teams have filtered down. We're just in the top 16, remember, and we're already seeing this play. I mean, cut to top 8 is now, so congratulations to FIGJAM. You make it through to the next round. You're one best of 3 away, or one best of 3 win, I should say. You actually have to win from going through and being one of the first teams to go to PAX in that top 4. Unfortunately for Avant-Garde Redemption, they will not join their brother team Avant-Garde Fear. They'll have to cheer them on from the sidelines. And that is unfortunate for them, but, they've got to be happy with the top 16. I know they obviously wouldn't have made it through and gotten all the way to PAX, but just incredible play there from FIGJAM. And if we were giving our MVPs, all credit to Trashboat that last game. That was a beautiful adaptation from FIGJAM, given how they thought the game was going to play out. And as we said, there's a mini metagame in each of these extended series, and that was a genius pick, an absolute masterstroke there from FIGJAM.
Yeah, well played to Trashboat. And like I said, the Karthus was a good pick, and we called it. We said we both liked FIGJAM's lineup, and it came through in the end for them. So well played to both of them. Avant-Garde, though, the guys there did a really good job. They took away the first game, played a really close second game, were unable to get through the third game. But yeah, GG, and thanks for both those teams for such a great game.
Yeah, and we are going to have a quick break and an interview with the winner. I believe actually Trashboat himself, which I'm sure he's going to be happy about, will be interviewed here after the quick break here. Before we go, of course, this is the departure of Menace, but I have to say thank you again. This is the second time in about as many days that you've saved my butt after some awkward things have happened one way or the other in terms of technical issues, and it's been a pleasure to cast you, mate. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Coming on, even.
Yeah, no, popping my pastry time cherry. It was awesome, man. Yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm more than a pleasure to come in and help you guys out. Hopefully it won't be the last time. Hopefully it will be. It's kind of 50-50. But yeah, thank you very much to all the viewers. Thank you so much to the guys at the game tonight, as well as all the ACL people. Thank you for letting me come in and help you out.
Yeah, well, thank you for saving us. And of course, Menace, before you do go, please give your shout-outs. You're more than welcome to them.
Just shout-outs to, I guess, the players and my boys at Team Down TV. You guys have heard from us at Screams. They love Menace. Thank you so much. And you guys can follow me on Twitter at Menace52. And yeah, thanks to everyone for the support. Cheers. It's
Menace with 2 N's, by the way, MENNACE. And give him your thanks on Twitter, ladies and gentlemen. He's been awesome, and thank you so much for joining me tonight. But that is the departure of Menace. I will be back in a couple of minutes after a quick break, and we're going to have an interview with the winner. They are, before I asked them before the series, saying, who do you want to interview? And they said either Blue Nenzero or Trashboat. I have a funny feeling that Trashboat's going to come on now. But it'll be one of those two players. Hopefully the carry boat will be pulling into the harbour here. We'll take a quick break, guys. We'll be back with a quick interview before we wrap up tonight's broadcast. Stay tuned.